Hi students, your teacher here with another episode of Algebra 1, Lesson 5.2, Solving Systems of Equations by Substitution. Boom shakalaka. So what is the substitution method? Well, it's funny you should ask. The substitution method is a method for solving systems of equations by substituting equations within one another. So basically one equation is solved for a variable. You substitute what that variable equals in for that variable in the other equation and solve. Once you get one variable, then you plug that value in and get the other variable. This is the general description, and I think here in a moment you'll see what it means. But substitution method is a pretty fun way to solve systems of equations. I always enjoyed it. So first step, solve one equation for x or y, it doesn't matter, whichever is easiest to solve for. Step 2, substitute this expression into the other equation and solve for the variable. Step 3, substitute your answer. Your answer into the revised equation from step 1 and solve for the other variable. All right, well, that's all well and good, but how does this work? Well, in number 1 here, it says y equals 4x minus 1 and y equals 2x minus 5. So I can take what y equals 4x minus 1, and I can plug that in for y in this other equation, okay? So it looks like this, 4x minus 1 equals 2x minus 5. Now I only have one variable in my equation, and when you only have one variable, you can solve for it. And so let's get the variable on one side. I'm going to subtract 2x. 4x minus 2x is 2x. So 2x minus 1 equals negative 5. Add 1 to both sides. 2x equals negative 4, divided by 2, x equals negative 2. Okay, now I have what x equals, and I can take it and I can plug it in for x in either of those equations. I'm going to plug it into the first one and solve for y. All right, 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 minus 1 is negative 9. So x is negative 2, y is negative 9, and that is the solution to the system of equations. Yay. All right, let's try it again. Well, since the first equation is already solved for y, I'm going to take what y equals and I'm going to plug it into the second equation. So 2x plus 3 times 6x equals negative 20. So all I did was substitute what y equaled in for y in the second equation. Now we're going to multiply. 3 times 6x is 18x. Okay. 2x plus 18x is 20x. And 20 divided by, or negative 20 divided by 20 is negative 1. And I'm going to use the first equation to solve for y. So I'm going to substitute negative 1 in for x. 6 times negative 1 is negative 6. And the solution is negative 1. Whoops. Clean that up a little bit. Negative 1, negative 6. Okay, number 3. I'm going to take what y equals in the first equation and plug it in for y in the second equation. So 3x plus 8 times x plus 9 equals negative 5. Distribute the 8, so 3x plus 8x plus 72 equals negative 5. Combine like terms, 11x plus 72 equals negative 5. Subtract 72 from each side, and 11x equals negative 77. Divide by 11, and you get negative 7. Take what x equals and plug it in for x in the first equation to solve for y. So negative 7 plus 9, y equals 2. So the ordered pair that is the solution to this system of equations, negative 7, 2. Number 4. I'm going to take what x equals, so they switched it up trying to trick us. We'll take what x equals and plug it in for x. So we get 2 times 4y plus 7 minus 6y equals 12. And we're going to distribute. That's 8y plus 14 minus 6y equals 12. 8y minus 6y is 2y. Subtract 14 from both sides, and you get negative 2. And then divide by 2, you get negative 1. If y equals negative 1, we can plug it into our first equation to solve for x. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. And then negative 4 plus 7 is 3. So the solution to this system of equations is 3, negative 1. All right, moving on. Number 5. Number 5, we're going to have to do a little extra work. Hopefully you recognize the fact that neither one of those equations is solved for a variable. So this first equation looks pretty easy to solve. So we have 2x plus y equals negative 2. And because I am really experienced with solving equations, I can tell that solving for y is going to be faster because all I have to do is subtract 2x from both sides. And y equals negative 2x minus 2. Perfect. Now I can take what y equals and I can plug it in for y into this equation. So 5x plus, I don't know what, this looks kind of sloppy. There we go. 5x plus 3 times negative 2x minus 2 equals negative 8. All right, distribute. Negative 6x minus 6. Bring everything else down. Combine like terms. Negative 1x minus 6 equals negative 8. Add 6 to both sides. Negative 1x equals negative 2. And then divide by negative 1, x equals 2. If x equals 2, and we can plug 2 in to, let's go with the first equation. 2 times 2 plus y equals negative 2. And we're just going to solve for y. 2 times 2 is 4 plus y equals negative 2. Subtract 4 from both sides. And y equals negative 6. So the solution is 2, negative 6. Number 6. The second equation looks easiest to solve. So all I have to do is subtract 2x from both sides. Y equals negative 2x plus 9. All right, now I'm going to take what y equals and I'm going to plug it in for y in the first equation. So 2x minus 3 times negative 2x plus 9 equals negative 11. Distribute. Negative 3 times negative 2x is positive 6x. Negative 3 times positive 9 is negative 27. Bring everything else down. 2x plus 6x is 8x minus 27 equals negative 11. Add 27 to both sides. 8x equals 16. Divide by 8, x equals 2. And if x equals 2, I can use either equation. I'm going to use the bottom one because it seems to be easier. 2 times 2 plus y equals 9. 2 times 2 is 4 plus y equals 9. Subtract 4 from both sides. And y equals 5. So the solution is 2, 5. Number 7. All right, the first equation looks easier to solve for a variable. All I have to do is subtract 5y from both sides, and I get x equals negative 5y plus 4. Okay, now I'm going to take what x equals, and I'm going to substitute it into the second equation. So 3 times negative 5y plus 4 plus 15y equals negative 1. And I'm going to distribute. 3 times negative 5y is negative 15y. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 15y equals negative 1. Negative 15y plus 15y cancels out. And all we're left with is 12 equals negative 1. And this is a false statement. Since this is a false statement, that means these are parallel lines. They never intersect. Number 8. It looks like the first equation will be easier to solve for a variable. So all I have to do is subtract 4y from both sides, and x equals negative 4y. Now take what x equals and plug it into the second equation. 3 times negative 4y plus 2y equals 20. 3 times negative 4y is negative 12y. Plus 2y equals 20. Combine like terms, that's negative 10y equals 20. Divide by negative 10 and y equals negative 2. Now I'm going to substitute what y equals into the first equation and solve for x. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Add 8 to both sides, and x equals 8. The solution, negative 2, 8. Oh, I have this backwards. I did everything right, but when I wrote them in an ordered pair, x comes first. Okay. Number 9. The bottom equation looks easier to solve for a variable, so I'm going to choose that. And subtract 2x from both sides. And y equals negative 2x plus 18. Now I'm going to take what y equals and I'm going to plug it into the first equation and solve for x. So 6x plus 3 times negative 2x plus 18 equals 54. Distribute, that's negative 6x plus 54 equals 54. Bring down the 6x and 54. All right, 6x minus 6x, these are going to cancel out, and all I'm left with is 54 equals 54. This is a true statement because 54 does equal 54. So if your variables cancel out and you're left with a true statement, that means these lines are the same. Infinite solutions. Okay. Number 10. I'm going to solve the first one for x. Add 3y to both sides. X equals 3y minus 2. And then I'm going to take what x equals, and I'm going to plug it in for x in this second equation. So 10 times 3y minus 2 plus 8y equals negative 20. Distribute 30y minus 20 plus 8y equals negative 20. Combine like terms, 38y minus 20 equals negative 20. Add 20 to both sides, and you get 38y equals 0. Divide by 38, y equals 0. Take what y equals and solve for x. X minus 3 times 0 equals negative 2. Well, 3 times 0 is 0, so x equals negative 2. The solution, negative 2, 0. And the last example, I'm going to solve both of these are two-step, but I'm going to solve the first one. 3x minus y equals negative 8. I'm going to solve for y. Subtract 3x from both sides. Negative y equals negative 3x minus 8. And divide by negative 1. And y equals positive 3x plus 8. Now we're going to take what y equals, and we're going to plug it in for y in the second equation. 5x plus 2 times 3x plus 8 equals 5. Distribute, that's 6x plus 16 equals 5. Bring everything else down. Combine like terms, 11x plus 16 equals 5. Subtract 16 from both sides, 11x equals negative 11. Divide by 11, and x equals negative 1. Take what x equals and plug it back in. 3 times negative 1 minus y equals negative 8. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 minus y equals negative 8. Add 3 to both sides. Negative y equals negative 5. Divide by negative 1. Y equals 5. The solution, x equals negative 1, y equals 5. This is the way. Till next time.